Hey, Ben. Listen, it's Jamie. That's me here. But I'm not talking. I'm not talking unless you giving me likes, you commenting, and you subscribing. You hear me? Okay, good. Thank you. Now, listen, I wanted to chat with you guys about Loving Hip Hop ATL for a second, and more so this interview that Kirk and Rasheeda did over with Carlos King. I did get a chance to check out the interview in its entirety, and I'll be honest, for me, and this is just my opinion. I didn't think the interview was that bad, right? Of course, they start the interview off by talking about like their relationship. First of all, their intro into hip hop, all right? Um, at first of all, I didn't even know that Rasheeda was connected to KP and KP and Envy. Shawty swing my way. Sure look good to me. Now would you please swing my way? Shot and swim my way. Anywho, somehow they were connected or whatever because she was in a girl group or whatever. And her and Kirk are trying to be so adamant about like when they met and stuff like that. What I didn't like was when Rasheeda said that she was 17, I think, at the time when she first met him, but it was nothing like that. And she said she didn't see him for a long time. So when I hear long time, I'm thinking for a few years. That's what I was thinking. But I guess she meant a few months because when they ended up connecting with each other, I believe that she was 18 once she finally like walked up to him or whatever, and she learned from, I guess, one of his relatives that he was interested in her. So she was like, oh, what's up? You know what I'm saying? Like, what's up with you, Duke Dennis? What's up with you? Okay, come on, they say shoot or shoot. So she went over there trying to holler at Kirk or whatever the case was, and that's how they ended up, doing their thing. Okay, that's how they ended up uh starting developing a relationship or whatever the case is, right? So they're trying to say that she was of age. I don't know. The age changes. Of course, they've heard so many different stories about him adopting Rasheeda from her mom and meeting her in high school and this, that, and the other. Well, part of what the people are saying, I feel like they're not lying if Rasheeda was indeed in high school at the age of 17. Maybe she was at 15 or something like that. Maybe she was 17, but if she was in high school and not yet graduated, even at 18, then maybe some of that is true, right? He says they're not 9 years apart, they're like 6 years apart. Either way, it is a large age gap. She's fresh out of high school or still in it, whatever. You're well over into your age, you know what I'm saying? Like your mid 20s or whatever, living your life, doing your thing. So I guess. But all in all, they talk about their intro into loving hip hop, or more so hip hop. And let me say this, what I like kind of knowing like the history and how people got started and stuff. And I do understand that Kirk is working on a documentary that I'm gonna watch. I'm not even gonna hold y'all. Whether I like how he do things or don't, bitch, I'm watching that. Period. I'm gonna be tuned in. And it seems like it's not only going to tell who Kirk is and how instrumental he was to hip hop in some fashion, especially down in Atlanta, but it seems like it's going to give us more on Rasheeda as well. And I'm here for it. They also go on about having multiple streams of incomes and they bout as successful as Candy, it appears. And I'm willing to believe that because I would be a fool to have a friend like Candy and not know how to move financially. So that's that. But also when they talk about like, chew all on my bubble gum, the bubble gum song, put it on them, make them want to marry me. When she talks about the marry me and it going viral on TikTok and the streams that they get when they talk about their songs playing in different music and television shows and movies, commercials, whatever, that's pretty much sync licensing. That's like sync music. And I know about it because my husband is into it as well. Matter of fact, we was over there watching Power the other day, and now we don't even watch Power, child. We was over there watching Power, and we heard his lyrics and the song that he submitted, you know, being played, and he's like, "Babe, that's me." And it's crazy because he did the same thing. He was watching Kevin Hart one day, the Kevin Hart special, and he was like, "Babe, that's me." I'm like, "What the hell?" Like, you know what I'm saying? And so, check is on the way. Shout out to them. But anywho, girl, okay, as far as Power, check is on the way. But anywho, all in all, when it comes to that, I already knew about that because they kind of did a previous interview where I kind of listened to them talk about this before, about the money that they've made, as far as the streams and all of that. Okay, the music in the different shows, movies, commercials, whatever it is, they make money from that SHI. And it may be songs that we've never heard or never even knew was them. She probably does completely different sounds depending on what those projects are seeking. So I already figured they had that. Then of course they got their different bistros. They have multiple homes and stuff. They got a big, beautiful house that they didn't broadcast about it. I don't recall, but I remember like seeing it, and I'm like, she doing her little looks in a different house, and this house look like it's the ooh, like go ahead, mama. So they be like low key off the radar, right? So when I listened to the interview, I will say for me, it was not a bad interview at all. One thing I did not like for me was when I personally felt like they, and maybe I misheard it or something, but it sounds like they were only trying to say that Kirk cheated on Rasheeda once, and that one time he cheated on her, he got Jasmine pregnant. For me, I don't necessarily believe that, because I also heard them mention in the interview, or maybe it was on the show, that people think that Rasheeda hasn't gotten her get back on me, but she has. And I'm like, well, if she's gotten her get back, I'm one to believe that this is something that has happened before, where she's gotten her, either y'all was lying then, or you may be lying a little piece now. But Rasheeda was getting, she got hers. Okay. So I feel like the only reason for her to be getting hers is because you must have did some shit you had no business doing well before the whole Jasmine situation. Of course, she talked about the low moments that she was in when she was pregnant with their son and stuff. And after the pregnancy, because remember, he tried to accuse her of the baby not being his and stuff, because he out there doing some funny shit. And then once she had the baby, she just wasn't having sex with him. And we remember on the show how their son slept in the bed in between them since he was like 7 years old or whatever. So they weren't really sexually active. And I think that Rasheeda may have still been harboring some type of resentment against him, which is why, I think his actions further led to her not wanting to be sexually active. What I didn't like to hear in the interview was Rasheeda try to take on fault. Like, I felt like it sounds like she was saying everything was her fault as to why they didn't engage in sex. And I'm like, no, 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 no. I can't go with that, because granted, yes, some of it maybe you didn't want to, but also I'm sure he wasn't making it easy for you to want to. God damn it. You know what I'm saying? So there were parts of the interview that I really enjoyed, parts that I did not like. And one thing I had to respect, whether I like it or not, and I think anybody has, a lot of times we'll get on platforms, myself included, and be like, girl, leave that man, let him go, like, da, da, da. And I know with my real friends in real life, I'm going to let you make your own decision. I'm not going to tell you what you should do. Okay, unless he really stomping your ass out or something like that. Like, that's really up to you, because whatever decision you make, you got to live with that. I'll listen to you. I may give you a tad bit of advice, but whether you should leave or stay, I can't give you that, because that has to be a decision that you are okay and comfortable with. Because I don't need nobody coming back trying to say, Jamie, you made me do that. I ain't make you do shit. You left that because you wanted to. That was your decision, okay? And I ain't saying that you was wrong in it. You just need to make it for yourself, right? So, um, with that, what Rasheeda said was she decided to stay in her marriage and work on her marriage, And at the end of the day, I think a lot of times that we can have our opinions, and we're not going to stop having our opinions. But one thing I have to respect, whether I like it or not, is that that's them folks' marriage. If they want to stay in it, that's on them. That's like Jay-Z and Beyonce. And when he got caught cheating on Beyonce, that's one thing I'm here for too. Make profit off of that shit, though. Beyonce went, she did a whole album and made money off that shit. Okay? But at the same time, it's like, that's that lady husband. That's the father of her kid. If that's what she want to do, okay. That's on y'all, and I do think, Rasheeda did mention something that I think is fact, because I've said it before. Like, a lot of times we will say what we'll do in the situation, but we don't know until we're truly in said situation. So at the end of the day, if that's what Rasheeda want to do, okay, girl, who the fuck am I? Okay, if you're going to stick beside them, stick with their yours, okay? That's on you. And I do think that I just feel like Kirk is all Rasheeda knows, for real. And I think they got so much intertwined from life, business, and kids as to why she was not willing to walk away from him, in my personal. And I don't know what other deciding factors came into play, but I definitely feel like it was more than love that made her want to stay in that marriage. It wasn't love by itself. Oh, I love you, I'm going to stay. Like, hell no. I think, how the people be like, it's cheaper to keep her. I don't know what her reason was, but I definitely think that it was something for her to be like, fuck it, we just gonna work on this. I ain't, you know what I'm saying? We ain't getting no younger, might as well stay in it. I don't know. But it's their marriage. Do what y'all want to do. The people gonna continue to talk about it, and they gonna continue to not give a damn. So it is what it is. But I will say that I will never say that. Well, I ain't gonna never say never, but what I will say, where I'm at in life, I'm not gonna sit up there and put them on no board and make it seem like they are what Jess Hilarious said, like the ideal couple or couple goals or some shit. Like, this dead. I'm not going. That's not. I mean, there are things about them that I like, but him embarrassing his wife the way he has on more than one occasion for the benefit of a damn show, I don't fuck with that in my personal. But as far as how they handle business and get money, and if she don't gotta work, technically she don't got to. Like, I like that aspect. You know, I like that they built themselves up in that particular way. So yeah, they spent a lot of time talking about that and everything, and wanted to be millionaires, and you need 7 streams of income, and so they start taking on these different opportunities. They got what kind of house? I think like a rehab house or something like that they may have, or whatever. I think they just got another one. I feel like they said it's their 3rd one. So they got different investment properties. Of course, they got the brick and mortar locations where, you know, they got a restaurant. Rasheeda got her clothing lines or whatever, her clothing stores, her boutiques. And then they got this show as income on top of any other sync licensing streams that they may do, music they may do. So they got them streams coming in, and I can't even be mad at them. Like, you know, I can't even be mad at it. Get to your money how you get to it. All right. Now, the portion of the interview that's going viral has been the portion where they've talked about Yandy and Mendeecees. Okay. And I want us to get into that. But before we get into it, I want us to listen to audio of Yandy and Rasheeda. Now, let me say this first. The first thought that I have is, when I first listened to this, my reaction was, you know, when it comes to Rasheeda ain't nobody friend. She always gonna stand up for that Kirk, whatever the case is. She ain't nobody friend, whatever. But the more I listened to the interview and I looked at the situation, I feel like my thoughts have shifted a bit, right? Primarily for Love and Hip Hop ATL, there has been rumors and speculation about Yandy's husband Mendeecees cheating on her. Now, Jasmine, which happens to be the baby mother to Kirk's youngest son, she came to the front by way of one of her friends who has tea on Mendeecees and accused him of cheating. Even Jessica, the model, tried to come to Yandy about allegations of one of her family members DMing and having interaction with Mendeecees, right? Yandy tells her, stop crying, love, stop crying, because Yandy was the one that hopped in the DMs to interact with the girl on behalf of Mendeecees. And the fact that you have to get in your man's DMs and respond to other women is a clear indicator that you know your man out there doing his damn thing, right? Well, Rasheeda was questioned about something as it pertains to Jasmine giving this information about Kirk and giving this information about Mendeecees, and Rasheeda tried to act like she ain't know nothing about it, she had nothing to do with it, whatever the case was. But Erica Banks tried to kind of put her out there and say, well, you was right there when everything went down, or you were there, you knew about it because you brought it up here or there, right? So now we kind of got Rasheeda and Yandy on the outs, from my understanding. Y'all can correct me in the comments. So it leads them to have this particular conversation. So let us listen to this conversation, then we'll hop over to Carlos King's interview and we'll get into what they talked about over there. So let us check this out.
I don't like gray areas. I like black, I like white. I don't like a middle ground, especially with people that I feel like I care about.
I hate to hear Yandy say that when right out the gate, Mendeecees keep you in a gray area, and he's had you in that gray area since y'all met back on Love and Hip Hop New York. But that's just my personal.
You and I, we was good. It wasn't until Erica Banks said what she said, then we enemies.
So, Yandy, did Rasheeda call you after the concert fight?
She didn't know.
We were at my album release party, and you was like, I heard somebody got clocked in the eye or hit in the eye.
Were we worried about time frames? Because I wasn't there.
But did you say that?
I don't know, did I? If you saying I said it, why you asking me?
Ooh.
Well, first of all, let's just dead the whole Erica thing. But her and everything she stands for, I don't give a
But all I'm saying is, you didn't have a problem with me. You wasn't not speaking to me. You, to me, was one of the girls I kick it with.
It goes both ways.
But I clearly said you are my friends.
Yeah, you are my friend. Am I saying we're best friends?
No,
we're not.
I never said
Are we saying we the closest homegirls in the world?
No,
we're not.
Never said
That's
any
where
of
the
those,
discrepancy
any of
is
those
at.
words.
If you go to look at our phone call logs, out of the 10, 15 years that we probably known each other, we probably talked on the phone 10 times, period. Yandy, you never called me when I was going through anything with Kirk. You don't reach out to me and check on me and see if I'm okay. So I'm yet again confused on why you're so focused on being upset with me when there's bigger fish to fry out here. Yandy, I was like, hey, maybe she should think about why we didn't have another conversation. Had you ever thought about that?
Why
Me and you just didn't get on the phone on a one-on-one?
That's exactly why I said, bitch, why you ain't call me?
And maybe I didn't call you because I didn't want to be involved in whatever these bitches is trying to say about your.
We all know that Mendeecees never went to Jasmine's bar. We know that.
Really? I have to keep it above. I don't know that.
Well, that's bull.
I know that's right, bitch.
You telling me some is made up.
I'm gonna say this energy here is kind of giving Dr. Damon and Dr. G from Married to Medicine, for the people that watch this show. When Dr. Damon went to Dr. G and was like, you think I'm a cheater, man? You think I'm a cheater? And Damon said, Dr. G said, man, I don't know what you do. He not wrong because he don't know. Like, I may know your integrity as to what you show me, but I don't know whether you cheat on your wife or not. I just don't. And I feel like that's where Rasheeda is with Yandy in this moment. Like, girl, I don't know that he's never been to her bar. Are you sure he's never been to her bar? Because it's been more than one person outside of Jasmine that has put him at that location. So I don't know if that's true or not, because I don't go to her bar. I know that's right.
That was just made up from Kirk.
No, it
made
was
up
not.
from Kirk is crazy.
That was told to Kirk.
Told to Kirk by whom?
It's told
Who
to
you
Kirk
think?
by whom you think.
By Jasmine?
Duh.
Yandy, we not gonna sit here and say Mendeecees don't be out at bars and at strip club. Now you tripping. I don't know if it's a denial thing, because you know that Kirk heard that from Jasmine.
Have you met Mendeecees?
I don't look familiar to you?
No.
Oh, okay. You've been to my bar a couple of times. I work at a strip club.
Okay.
All I can do is speak my truth. That's what I've been doing.
I've heard a lot of things. Females talking about they have Mendeecees' name tattooed on them and videos out of females with him or something. I don't know. It's really not my place to tell anybody anything about their man.
Have you seen the video and what is on the video?
I plead the fifth. And Yandy, I'm gonna be real with you. I'm done with it. The milk is spilled, there's water under the bridge. So at the end of the day, I'm not mad about it. I got too much of a blessed, beautiful life ahead of me, but I also have a load of issues and problems in life that I got a life on. And this right here, it's not even worth arguing about at this point. Guess what? We could say, you know what? Me and Yandy, we had a little discrepancy, but at the end of the day, we got past it. Whether it takes our friendship level to a close friend level, or it may take that friendship level and leave it where it's at, or it may say, you know what? I'm cool on her, she cool on me, but we could be cordial.
Whatever it is, the weird energy, the moving to the side.
It's super awkward. It's super awkward.
I don't like it. I don't like the way it feels.
We're grown as we can get over that.
Okay, I'm for it. I think smiling and taking one on the chin is the most mature thing I could do at this point. I'm hoping that the rest of this trip, we can just enjoy it and be in each other's space and there's no awkwardness.
I hate Yandy's confessional look on this image. I just really hate her confessional look. Matter of fact, let me see if I can pause it and show y'all what it looked like, because I really hate it.
The rest of this trip.
Like, please just look at her confessional look. Like, I think she looks crazy. This is the look. I mean, I didn't mean to pause it where her eyes look like this, but I just want y'all to see, like, this ponytail, the jacket. I hated the lashes on her because it made her eyes look like cat eye. Like, it just didn't look, it wasn't a good look for Yandy in my personal. I love when she wear the curly, bushy hair, similar to what Rasheeda and Tiana Taylor wear, on point. But this right here, this ain't it. But all in all, I feel like personally, for me, I'm definitely leaning towards being on Kirk and Rasheeda's side with this drama. Primarily because I've never been crazy about Yandy since Love and Hip Hop New York. I felt like she was a person in my personal, based on how she shows herself on television, or I don't know how she is in person, but based on how it's shown on television, she often likes to act like everything is perfect to me. In my opinion, I feel like she likes to give off an image that everything that you think it is really not. It ain't nothing like that. Like, we're good, just like the facade of it all. And I don't really like that in my personal. But let us go ahead and just check out a little bit of what Kirk and Rasheeda had to say over here on Carlos's podcast. So let's get into it.
Yandy is one of my babies who I love. I didn't think in a million years that my baby Rasheeda and my other baby Yandy would be at odds.
I didn't either.
So what we saw Love and Hip Hop Atlanta is the fact that, look, Mendeecees and Yandy are going through their own situation. Erica Banks brought the bone back. Hey, Erica, I love Tutu. Preacher B King, rest in peace. I love you. But no, Erica brought the bone back. The thing about you, I think I know you so well. When they called you to the scene, I know you so well. You look like, what
is this?
What they trying on?
You can't be lying. And I said, my girl's like, what shit I got today? And Yandy, so long story short, it has been said that, you know, Jasmine is friends with somebody that allegedly Mendeecees messed around with, that you allegedly made a comment about that situation. Yandy talked to you about it. Eric, which, by the way, you're funny. Did you say it? Did I say it? I mean, you know, you said it. I did. You don't remember? I mean, you said I said it. Did I say it? So why are you asking me if I said it, if you remember? I'm like, this back and forth is everything, right? It is. But you have poor Yandy sitting back like, okay, what's going on? She feels like you did not defend her.
Let me ask you a question.
Yes.
How was I supposed to defend her? I wasn't there.
So what is going on?
No, I'm just saying I wasn't there. Like, and if people,
what's going on in my personal is the fact that Yandy needs other people to blame aside from that man that has been having her look a fool, period. These rumors came out last year or year before last when Alexis's ex-friend was calling out the fact that he was cheating on Yandy. And I guess it made its way onto the show. Other people witnessed it and saw it. And Yandy, instead of putting the blame on Mendeecees, she wants to put it on other people, in my personal opinion, out of fear of driving that man further away. He was already further away because he stopped wearing that damn ring. Don't fault him. They ain't even married for real. Okay. And so I don't think she wants to drive him any further away than what he already is. And I definitely don't think she wants the outcome similar to Samantha and what was the other ex-girlfriend? Erica, was it? The other baby mamas, because they already kind of told her like what was gonna happen when it came down to Mendeecees and Yandy. Some part of me has felt like Mendeecees is with Yandy for survival. One thing about it, say what you want about Yandy, myself included, Miss Ma'am is a hustler. Okay, and she gonna always figure out a way to get it. And Mendeecees is also a hustler as well. And you'll hear Kirk say that at some point in this interview. And my thing is, as far as Mendeecees being a hustler, and my thing is, for him being a hustler and him not being able to hustle the way that he used to hustle, I feel like he may need a person that's going to have as much energy, legitly, right, as he would have. And I feel like, I have no doubt, I will say that he cares about her. I do believe he cares about Yandy. But I also think that he's with her for survival purposes, in all honesty. And she was willing to do whatever it is that she needed to do to prove to him that she is that girl. I feel like they've always had some stuff since the moment that they've gotten together. I don't know why I listened to RRG. I think they tried to say that, I don't know, somebody was in a relationship. I feel like it could have been Yandy who was dating somebody when she first met Mendeecees, but not met him to date him. I think she just already had a situation going on potentially. And then I think once that was over, she may have bumped into him again and they reconnected or something like that, or they connected or whatever. But all in all, I feel like at the time when Mendeecees ended up getting with Yandy, I feel like he saw her as a person that was on Love and Hip Hop. ATL had a little status and clout, attached himself to her. Like, it's always been survival for me. And I just have to question him and her a bit, because I remember having this conversation with one of my old coworkers and talking about how much I just was not crazy about Yandy. And I said, I feel like she'd be pulling the wool over people's eyes, but everybody just like go up for her for some reason. And she was like, no, I think Yandy's good. I think she's cool. I think, I don't think there's anything wrong with her. Like, I don't think she's fake at all. I think she's a very honest, authentic person. And then what you learn, that her marriage ain't even real. And a lot of people may say, myself included, like, well, that's good that she didn't attach herself to this man, in any debt or something that he may have going on. And then we learn, as he's going to say in this meeting, that they had this whole Dubai wedding or renewal of vows or whatever, and they still not married. And my question is this: I don't even think it's so much as, oh, Yandy is being smart by not attaching herself to Mendeecees financially or whatever the case is. I feel like the reason they not legitly married is because he probably don't want it. I think a lot of us put the energy and be like, oh yay, Yandy, she's smart, she ain't do this and that. And I'm like, well, is it? I feel like that nigga like, nah, we good how we are. Let's keep going with this. We ain't really got to do the paperwork for real. Like, what you want? The wedding is what you want. Let's do the wedding then. The ring's what you want. You want to do this for them, for the people. Because I feel like he kind of alluded to something about the ring like that when he wasn't even wearing the ring. I feel like he may have said it when they were in therapy or something. So for me, I feel like, is that the real reason they ain't married? Because she don't want to attach herself to him financially? Or is it the fact that he doesn't want that? And I think it's the latter. But that's just my opinion on it. You know what I'm saying? But let's keep going.
The world only just paid attention to things and stopped just running with narratives, they would see it very clearly. The whole little incident when the girls came to her, me and Kirk were gone. Jasmine was looking for Kirk and Rasheeda, and they ran into the Harrises. Well, Kirk and Jasmine had a whole conversation before they ran into the Harrises, just so that everybody knows. Y'all go back and watch the episode. Now, we left.
They did.
I was damn near in my bed by the time that whole situation happened, just so you know. And for me, I just look at it like, what you finna say? I hear you.
But look, you did hear about it, though.
Talking, but I can hear you.
You did hear about it enough, though, to where you probably could have, like, hit her up or something, maybe. You know?
I don't like when people try to throw something on you that is so false. Like, they're trying to, like, The
concept was girlfriend, girl code. This is what I'm going to run with, girl code, girlfriend. And this being honest, Rasheeda introduced her to her friends. Rasheeda gave her the game on the restaurant, how to get the liquor license, how to do stuff. She really put up on the game, right? But the thing is, people get to see what's said on TV. But when I had Cannon, Yandy she never got a phone call.
Well, those friends who supported me, she wasn't a part of that.
Right. She never got phone call.
She never talked to me at all about
from then to now.
Hold up. What? I'm sorry, y'all.
Paid attention to things and stopped just running with narratives, they would see it very clearly. The whole little incident when the girls came to her, me and Kirk were gone. Jasmine was looking for Kirk and Rasheeda, and they ran into the Harrises. Well, Kirk and Jasmine had a whole conversation before they ran into the Harrises, just so that everybody knows. Y'all go back and watch the episode. Now, we left. I was damn near in my bed by the time that whole situation happened, just so you know. And for me, I just look at it like, what you finna say? I hear you. Look, I can hear you, and you ain't talking, but I can hear you. I don't like when people try to throw something on you that is so false. Like, they're trying to, like, The
concept was girlfriend, girl code. This is what I'm going to run with, girl code, girlfriend. And this being honest, Rasheeda introduced her to her friends. Rasheeda gave her the game on the restaurant, how to get the liquor license, how to do stuff. She really put up on the game, right? But the thing is, people get to see what's said on TV. But when I had Cannon, Yandy she never got a phone call.
Well, those friends who supported me, she wasn't a part of that.
Right. She never got phone call.
She never talked to me at all about
from then to now, she's never.
So when was Cannon born?
You can speak on it.
Yeah.
That's one thing that I say when you say girl code, real friend. You try to get these people to rally up against, like. Then, long story short, me and Rasheeda contract was up, and motherfuckers was going for our spot. That's what really happened. And I'm just keeping it 100.
However, I do want to.
Let me get back into this. I probably get mad in trouble for saying that. But anyway, it became a thing where somebody wanted a position, right? But Kai, my son, got into a collision. It was on the shade room.
It was everywhere.
Everything. Yandy never called her to check on Kai. Is everything
when
okay?
I tell you, I heard from every person on the planet.
I could be home at this time because, I'm friends with Candy Toyer.
Okay, so I have to say this. I have to correct them. Just a little piece. So when all of that went down, when you had Cannon, which was like, 2016, 17, 18, whatever it was, Yandy, in their defense, Yandy and Mendeecees weren't even on the show. You couldn't have heard from her because y'all didn't have that relationship like that. You know what I'm saying? Y'all didn't develop that relationship until she came on the show. I thought it was either during or after the pandemic. And with that, I have to highlight a few things. First of all, the only reason why in my personal Yandy got close with you is because she was entering a new group of people down here in Atlanta, and she was trying to shake and move. Of course, Black Lives Matter was popular at that time, and she was trying to become a socialite down here in Atlanta the same way that she was in New York, which is why I do kind of feel like there was a bit of opportunist going on, in my opinion, when it comes to Yandy. Like, yes, I understand she was already known. She got some of the clout, whatever the case is. But at the end of the day, regardless of you being that celebrity there, does not mean that you have an insight to this particular group of ladies, right? So I do feel like at some point, some people were like used to be connected with and to become closer. Another thing that I wanted to highlight while it's on my mind is the fact that I remember them coming down around like 2021, or maybe it was 2022, one of the two, but whatever it was, I remember I hated that fucking season because they tried to center the show around Yandy and Mendeecees and him getting out of fucking prison, coming down to Atlanta. I hated the way they shot it. The scenes were so damn dark. They tried to shoot with a different angle, making it more of like a dramatic reality show, something different than what we know Love and Hip Hop Atlanta to be. And they have now revert back to what we're kind of used to with Love and Hip Hop Atlanta, but they definitely at one point tried to center this damn show to be around them, and they got a lot of fucking complaints because the show just was not giving. It was boring at that point. And I was so glad because as seasons came, they started to bring Yandy and Mendeecees less and less and less and less into the fold. And I was like, thank God, because y'all be giving her a little too damn much. And I don't understand why. Like, they're not as entertaining for real, for real. But let's keep going.
Friends, right? Yeah. They was disappointed in me. They sat my ass down and was like, you know, I had to get my ass whooped by them too, you know, because we friends.
Yeah.
But when I tell you, ding dong, at the door, no announcement, how you got through the gate? Whatever. They was at that. They was there all the time checking on her. Like, her friends were there supportively, wholeheartedly, right? What confused me is how all of a sudden you such a friend and you never checked on her when the Cannon thing happened. You never checked on her, even when we came alive, when Jasmine came back, you never even checked on her then. But y'all friends.
And also too, just for the thing, I don't like to be blamed for something that I had no parts of. Okay. And that's where I think my patience runs short. You can't sit here and say it's all because of Kirk.
Let me say this. Y'all gonna have to leave that Cannon shit alone in my personal. She didn't check on her with the Cannon thing. I mean, I guess she could have at a later time because obviously Jasmine has always been an issue. But let me tell you what she really could have checked on you with. And this is no disrespect because I do believe this happened. There was a video that was going around of Rasheeda's son in a compromising position. An explicit image or video. Rasheeda and them never addressed it, but I feel like that definitely would have been a time where Yandy could have hit her up like, you good? Like, are you okay? I know this may be something sensitive and you ain't even got to tell me about that. I don't even need to get all in your tea, but I just want to make sure I called and checked on you. I'm sure you're aware of what's going on. We ain't got to talk about it, but are you okay? You know what I'm saying? So I'm for me, and I'm okay with being the unpopular opinion here. I don't agree with everything when it comes to Rasheeda and Kirk. I do side-eye some things, but when it comes to just this particular Yandy and Mendeecees thing, I kind of am with them on this, you know? Just a little bit.
Kirk and Rasheeda, that we're dealing with this Jasmine situation. We can't say that because Jasmine and them and the girl, the other girl, Erica, they were talking to you about what your man had going on. That don't have nothing to do with us, okay? The thing that pissed me off about the whole little Erica situation and all
I got to cut it off again because the fact that you're deflecting and trying to put off on Rasheeda and Kirk as if this is their issue when it's really a your nigga issue is similar to Portia Williams trying to make whatever her storyline is be about damn Drew. And then this one, bitch, you really need to get into what you got going on. That's what is given to me.
That scene happened, like the scene after when I mentioned Yandy. It was like a whole month and some change. That scene where the girls attacked Yandy, that happened the last scene in season 12A. This whole conversation that happened in a whole new season, we did new promos, the whole new thing, it's way later. So what pissed me off is I saw the play. I said, oh, y'all trying, yeah, because it was right after that. You said, Erica said, you said, I'm like, oh, baby, you trying to pull a little New York 1-2 on the bitch. That's what kind of pissed me off. And that's what kind of took it there for me because I'm like, okay, now you want to play the friend card. But you know, Yandy, you've been doing this reality TV shit for a long time.
Before you.
Before me. So you know how the game going. You know the play. So if we real friends, we don't go past those lines. We keep it straight. We keep it 100. We keep it a buck. You already knew what you were doing. And so that's why I gave it the energy I gave and I said what I said because at the end of the day, I know what you're doing and it's okay. And if people want to run with it and say, Rasheeda's not a good friend, she's not a where your man stick his penis ain't got nothing to do with me.
Well, with that being said, you did say in your confessional.
Yeah, I was thinking, because I was thinking back to how she had did K. Michelle, and K. Michelle was like, wow, Rasheeda, well, you sure was acting like friend, you sure did this and that. But then at the same time, I kind of changed my stance on that a little bit because you are trying to make it about Kirk and Rasheeda when it's about fucking Mendeecees. How he has you looking. We're talking about the same man that refused to wear a fucking ring all last season. Okay? And then it came to the very final episode or the season breaker or whatever it was. And then what happened? You had to bring a jeweler to meet him to show him some rings that he might like in an effort for him to put this shit on. Like, girl, your man has been out here disrespecting you and you need to deal with that shit in your house before you try and put it off on me as if we actually put this man's baby mama up against you. That girl said what she wanted to say. Okay?
That, you know, it is rumored that allegedly Mendeecees has other women. Do you think Mendeecees is cheating on Yandy?
You know what? Have you ever asked that question in Atlanta?
Have you ever asked that question in Atlanta?
I'm hollering. Yeah, first of all, hell no.
I left Atlanta for a reason.
Okay, then. There we go. Sounds like a complete different one for me, baby. Yeah.
You said out your mouth.
Well, This is what I'm going to say.
I never met Mendeecees. I don't know anything.
Let me tell you this. I want to say something.
Oh, no. I want Rasheeda to answer. You said it in your interview.
This is what I will say. I've seen things, and that's just that. That people have brought to me. Let me say it like that.
Did you ever go to her with the things you've seen? Why not?
Because I don't do stuff like that. Like, because somebody's bringing me something. Now, had I walked in and seen this somebody, then I might pick up the phone and be like, baby, listen, I just walked in and seen your man going crazy. You better get your ass here before I...
Okay, I'm mixed about this too because I feel Rasheeda on not wanting to get into that. And here's the thing. I don't know. Because we talk about this on the panel and I just never know. Sometimes I'm like, I would say something. It's like a compromising situation. Like, you just don't know which one to do. But if you're a person that's constantly hearing rumors, at some point, like, you probably wouldn't share. Okay? Especially if your husband probably heard the shit first and then it came to you. Like, it could be a situation where that friend may get tired of you calling them about some fucking rumors. Call them with some facts and some evidence. Like, you know what I'm saying? So I don't know. Because I think Rasheeda did say that she saw a video or something like that. So, or at least she alludes to it just by not giving an answer is given that you have. So I don't know. What y'all think? Should you tell or should you not tell? I mean, I also feel like you got to consider the friend, just like they say, consider the source. Consider the friend, because some friends ain't going to want to hear SHI negative about their partner, especially if they going to stay anyway. If anything, you know, shit, they may stop fucking with you just off of the fact that you came and tried to have their back and share stuff with them. So you just never know. Maybe that's a question you should ask friend. Well, I don't know. Because I was going to say, maybe you should ask, like, if I ever heard anything about your partner, do you think you would want me to tell you or whatever? And they could say, yeah, tell me. But then when you tell them, they be mad that you did. Or they be like, don't tell me. And then if you don't tell them, then they pissed. So you just never know. You just never know. I don't know. I mean, I guess there's no way to just escape a person being upset with whether you know or don't know something.
I would, you know,
the things you seen were just like rumors.
You know, just look at people saying that B-Day receipts, you know, that they have. But I'm really not that girl, though. Like, I'm not sitting here running around doing this and doing that. But also, too, I feel like this. Me and Yandy have not had that type of relationship. Like, we don't talk about our husbands. And I know people see the television side of things, and we are in the same friend circles. But there's levels to friendships. And that's the thing. Like, she has her close, tight, bestie friends. Like I said, my friends, like, when I go through stuff, we're there to hold each other down. Not when the camera on, but in real life. You know, and not for a one-up to look good, because if you really felt like you've been holding me down, well, where were you, baby? That's all.
And this is the shit that Simone was talking about on Marriage Medicine when it came to Quad. That's all she was trying to highlight. Like, BIT, you only come around when the cameras are on. You do not try and show up for me any other time. But when it comes to you, I'm showing up for you. When you had that situation that happened at your house, I was there for you. When were you there for me? Yeah, you was there for me for my dad because a camera came with it. But you don't really like me like that for real, for you to expect me to give you all this fucking loyalty. You don't really rock with me like that. So stop playing. So I feel like this is something similar that they're talking about.
All I'm saying is where you was at. I'm going to be like, she said, well, Jessica, baby, dry your eyes. It's okay. But for real, it's
that's
like,
what she said,
that's the part that's the Gemini in me. It ain't no gray area. It's fucking black or white. You know what I'm saying? Like, I get it. You said that and you did that. There was an agenda. And it's totally fine. You can have the agenda. Y'all can have that. It's all cool. But don't sit here and try to play on my character like, oh my God, I've been holding you down so long and you ain't even got my back. Girl, where was you at when I was going through my shit? You didn't reach out that way. You ain't pull up on me. You know why? Because we don't.
And that's the shit I be talking about for me with Yandy. Like, and when I read the Shade Room, it was so many people dragging Kirk and Rasheeda. And I'm like, but because it was only a small clip that was uploaded about what Kirk had to say about Yandy and Mendeecees. And I'm like, they didn't get the full context or watch the full video. And some of those people probably don't even watch the show. And that's not all. Some people may watch it all and still feel like they have an issue with these two, and that's fine. Because I don't even support everything that they say. But when it comes to the Yandy and stuff, I feel like that's where she got y'all like fooled just a little bit, acting like situations are one way when we know that it's a completely different way. I.e., we're married. I'm Miss Harris, and it's a whole different fucking situation. So I feel like this is similar.
We don't know where each other lives. We never have.
Never been.
Don't even know where each other lives, but you over here acting like you've been holding her down, y'all besties like that. And I do agree. I feel like there are levels to friendship. There are friends you may just chit chat with, talk to here, there, whatever. And then there are friends that you are going to, like, when you know you're going through, you know who you can call. I hate it. And some people don't even consider those friends that they just chit chat with, you know, talk to from time to time, whatever the case is. Some people don't even consider them friends. They consider them associates or work associates or whatever it is, or associate. I don't know. But they don't be considering them friends. They may say acquaintances or something. And for the people some people are very strict on who they consider friends, and typically their friends are their best friends, and those are the people they know that they can lean on when times are definitely hard, rough, difficult. So everybody's definition is a little different, but I do think that there are levels to it. I just wonder which level is Yandy on with Rasheeda.
Say, but Jessica, baby, dry your eyes. It's okay. But for real, it's like that's the part that's the Gemini in me. It ain't no gray area. It's fucking black or white. You know what I'm saying? Like, I get it. You said that and you did that. There was an agenda, and it's totally fine. You can have the agenda. Y'all can have that. It's all cool. But don't sit here and try to play on my character like, oh my God, I've been holding you down so long and you ain't even got my back. Girl, where was you at when I was going through my shit? You didn't reach out that way. You ain't pull up on me. You know why? Because we don't know where each other lives. We never have.
That's crazy.
We've never been to each other's
friends at all.
That's crazy.
So then the world wants to look at me like I'm some type of
in her house or vice versa?
No.
Y'all ain't friends. Y'all ain't friends.
Not at the level of how
Listen, y'all are
somebody
friendly, but y'all ain't friends.
Okay, this is a question. How many times have you and Yandy talked on the phone in the last 5 years?
Nigga, 1, 5, 4, 5, not a lot. I mean, we have a very thin text thread and a very minute
friends, and that's what
call log.
We get confused. Like, when did this happen? Like,
so it's okay if people want to say Rasheeda ain't nobody friend. She ain't this. The people who I'm friends with, we know we're friends.
Again, I've been because I tell people all the time, and y'all can attest to this. There's like 3 different groups of friend groups in Atlanta.
Yes.
Right? Your friend group in Atlanta, y'all been friends for like 2 decades.
3
or more. I was
yeah,
saying,
damn
more
3.
like longer.
Yeah.
Monica was just at Frost Bistro the other day and posted, we see you and Monica support Sierra and vice versa. Like you're so that Yandy has her own friend group of girls I know, Quad, Portia, you know.
Definitely.
No, some real
Exactly.
Listen, I
Yes.
know the girls. Your friend group is Candy, Monyetta, Toya, you know, like the Tiny, like that's your friend group. From my understanding, Yandy's friend group is Portia, Quad, and some other girls.
You know, Ami.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. So
and her New York friends.
Yeah, exactly. So when I saw the scene, I see 2 women who I know very well, and I as a producer, just me being real, I took it as, okay, bitch, we TV friends,
right?
And if that's the conversation, that's fine. But I never once took it as like you're a bad friend, and I never once took it like Yandy was trying something. But I want to ask this to you, Kirk. Do you feel like Yandy and Mendeecees are trying to come for y'all spot on the show?
Well, me and Mendeecees had a call, and you know there was a rumor going on. I had, you know, they consider some of the best business partners because we don't bother nobody. Like, I don't pick up the phone and call Mona when she was running it heavy, and I damn sure don't pick up the phone and call LaShawn and bother her now with her controlling it, right? You know.
Shout out to LB.
Yeah, shout out to LB. You know, LB, the big dog. Nobody knows that. You know,
hi, LaShawn Brownie.
Yeah,
we know LaShawn.
Can't pull it out the hole.
Hey, LaShawn.
It's all good.
Yes.
So
she's amazing.
She's a real one though. She checked on Rasheeda. You know, it was times I'm just speeding back when she came to the store to look at Rasheeda in her eyes and wanted to tell her so bad. Like, are you good? Right. So you know, LaShawn was checking. Yeah. Right. But back to that, I kind of feel like Mendeecees is first of all, he's from Harlem. Right. I'm from Harlem. I've been in Atlanta since '88 though, so I'm from Atlanta as well. Like, I got a lot of Atlanta roots, right? But I know the move. You get what I'm saying? Like, I see what was going on, but I didn't catch it in time. Because, well, I'll be doing a lot, but you know, listen, if there's a way to get into a story that's the story, why not do it? Get your bag. I'm not mad at it, and I like Mendeecees. I say this all the time. I like Mendeecees. I bigged him up. I'm not in it. But we was on the phone one day, you know, and producers we had a little something now. Rasheeda don't like a producer on the show, right? So he does spiteful shit to Rasheeda, and I had to check and say, listen, you out at my wits end. Now I'm telling the people, he do this again, I'm gonna fuck him up. Like, cause you playing, you thinking it's a joke, and I'm trying to let you know I don't rock like that. I keep it 100. I don't. So with me and Mendeecees, we good. We talking, and he told me, he said, listen, man, you know what had happened is it was a play. It didn't go the right way, but he told me on the phone, just straight up and down, you just gonna have to take it on the chin.
Yo, I know you wanted to go out.
I know you wanted to go out on top, because I said, well, I'm glad it's me and Rasheeda's last month. Anyway, I'm glad. I was just venting.
To your point.
I'm trying to negotiate. You know, I want them to give me some more money. I'm trying to raise my pay. So I said the wrong.
Y'all keep it real.
You know what I'm saying? So motherfuckers thinking we leaving. So motherfuckers is challenging the position. All I'm saying is like, what the so here's the thing. He told me, you're going to have to take it on the chin. And I was like, what? You know who you talking to? Oh, okay. So you want to, so it was like, you know, we dated friendly competition, basically. You know, me and him started spatting over certain things. I started saying slick, probably should have said, you know what I'm saying? But you were saying slick too. So I'm like, oh, we doing that then? If that's what you want to do, then this is what we doing. So, you know, we start throwing jabs. There's more to come. We start throwing jabs at each other, but not like disrespectful.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? We just saying little shady shit. You know. Now, here's the thing. You in Atlanta, we in Atlanta. I have friends that I love, who do certain things in their marriage and relationship. I don't judge them. I love them. I don't care. If you doing what you're doing, do what you do. I just feel like they held back some information from us that they should have told us. And that's me keeping it 100.
In terms of like things they knew about you guys, or just what they were going through?
Go to Vegas and look up me and Rasheeda marriage certificate.
Well, no, not in terms of us, because one thing I do have to say is me and Kirk been as transparent as you can get when it comes to this. We put this shit out there. Like, I dealt with
and I said this, and I'm getting in, because I don't care where he put his private. It's his, right? This is me keeping it 100. But when you start saying slick shit, like, well, I'm the only one on the show who ain't had a baby, You don't always got them baby mamas coming for Yandy. I'm just keeping it up.
Period. And he ain't lying. He did have a whole bunch of baby mamas coming for Yandy. Not so much as a whole bunch, but definitely Erica and the first Samantha was on Yandy's motherfucking head for damn sure. In addition, I think Rasheeda Ali and Yandy got into it because Rasheeda fucked Mendeecees. So it's like Mendeecees was out here been a hoe. Okay? Been a hoe, still a hoe, allegedly is what they saying. So, yeah, it was something else that one, I didn't understand why Rasheeda was laughing so much. I guess laughing at the fact that these people still ain't married or whatever the case is. But also it just reminds me that, again, I do feel like, in my personal opinion, Yandy does like to make things appear to be one way when they're another. Okay, that's just what it is that I think. But let's keep going.
But none of my, this is stuff that happened on the show, right?
Yeah.
But I really feel like, for me, number one, what's happening for Mendeecees and Yandy, you know, for Atlanta to like you, it needs to happen because they funny down here anyway. You know, Atlanta is funny. You are getting some new traction, right? So I'm gonna give you your props. That's the Harlem man. He's smart. I got to give him credit when credit is due, and I got to give her credit when credit is due because they attacked us in a way where now they're into it with Kirk and Rasheeda. And that's where I was like, I applaud you for that one. You did your big one, right? But I do think, on no shade, I'm like, bro, I've been to 2 weddings. For me to find out you motherfuckers really ain't married, that threw me for a loop.
Are Yandy and Mendeecees legally not married?
There's no marriage certificate. Those were weddings.
Between us girls, Rasheeda, is that true?
Listen, this is what I would tell you. A marriage certificate is a legal document and a public document that you can pull up and go get right now. That's what I would tell you.
So when he said take it on the chin, that's chess for me. It's like checkmate. You trying to get in a position that I currently hold. I'm like, you hold up. So I'm like, this is a married thing right here. You know, because you got to get there only by being a couple, right? So that was like break number 1. But if y'all got an open relationship, just say it. Instead of us thinking you cheated, because he's really not cheating if it's not what we think. Listen, I'm not disrespecting him because I fuck with him. But
really?
All right, y'all. Had issues with the camera, but we're back. Let's get it. Let's wrap it up.
Dude, no, and I'm just saying, if it's something different, I think just say that.
Do you think Yandy and Mendeecees have an open relationship?
It's something they're not telling the world, bro. Okay. It's something they're not telling the world. I respect.
I'm sorry, that was my mama.
Okay, cool.
Hey,
I do. Okay, like I said, I do have respect for Mendeecees though. He's a cool dude. You know, he's a smart dude too though. He laid back, but he cutting.
For me, it's just don't try to deflect and make it seem like it's us who's doing this to y'all.
I agree.
We don't have nothing to do with that. Okay. And then secondly, like I just say, you know, at some point, maybe living in your truth is probably a better option. And that's just what I'm gonna say.
I aired my truth on the show. Yeah. I've been taking the beating since, you know.
You still are taking
the beating.
No,
he's going to take them. They ain't going to let that live.
Decade, right?
Yeah.
I tell shoot all the time.
I have to pause right there and wrap it up. So for me, yeah, I definitely agree with Rasheeda, but it was something that Kirk was saying right at the end before Rasheeda cut him off.
Between us girls, Rasheeda, is that true?
Listen. See, y'all, we don't have nothing to do with that, okay?
If it's not what we think, listen, I'm not disrespectful.
Boom, that's what it was. So basically, it was more so, like they said, they don't know if they have an open relationship, but they do feel like Yandy and Mendeecees are not telling everybody everything. And I agree. And the deflection of that is also another great example to me. Is remember on the episode, I don't know which episode it was, but Yandy, after she confessed to Jessica and told her that, oh, that was me in the DMs, this, that, and the other. Then Yandy comes outside, tries to talk to Mendeecees. Then she goes off on I think she told him that she was in the DMs interacting with the girl or whatever. Whatever it is, I don't know if Mendeecees knew she actually had access to his DMs and then they're talking to women. Maybe he did, maybe he didn't. But whatever the case was, she started going off on the cameras. I'm tired of it. How many black marriages are you guys going to ruin on TV? All these semantics or whatever. And I felt like she did all of that shit to deflect from Mendeecees eating her ass up for having access to his DMs and being all in them and interacting and all this other stuff. So, yeah, for me, I just felt like Yandy always do shit like that to me. Try to, make it appear like things are one way when it's a whole nother, like the whole facade type shit. And people just eat it up. And I love Yandy and this and that. And y'all do what y'all do. Love on her. You know what I'm saying? But all I'm saying is Rasheeda and them ain't all the way wrong, but they ain't all the way right either. And same thing with Yandy and Mendeecees. All right. But that's all I got. All right. I ain't got no more. You guys can leave your thoughts and comments down below. Of course, I'm Jami. That's me. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, and I'll catch you guys in the next one. Bye-bye.
Yeah, tell him I preach to the choir. Stand with my feet to the fire. Give all the glory to God. Stand in the midst of these haters, I'm silent, nobody can stop me. Just gotta check in my notification, them numbers hit like it's a praxis. Cashed out at the ATM, and the ATL, they done made a gym. I've been kicking doors like the ATF, got them trying to clone me like Agent Smith. Game time, I invaded gym, high elevated, I can face the rim. Putting shots up, I got laser focus, about to take it over, I'm Invader Zim. On a trip to Florida like it's A&M. Who that nigga, man, they say I'm him. Spit the truth, never wasting film, I can fill a pool, we gon' make them